Alright, we're live. We're here.
Hooray!
Things are happening. All sorts
Yeah,
of
they
things are
are.
happening.
Yeah, the pandemic still rages.
It does. I guess I can.
It it does.
How
And
are
with
you
that in
doing?
mind, I'm doing all right. Kind of getting used to working from home and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah, I hear
it's been
that.
fine.
I hear that.
Yourself?
Things have been fine on my end. I'm still working for. I'm still working, but like now I'm only going into the facility where I work 1 day a week roughly. And then the rest I do at home. So that's been
Okay.
interesting. Um, it's been interesting.
Yeah, I'm like considered essential personnel for the lab I'm in, so I am one of the few people that could go in, but they don't like want you to do it too often.
Okay, okay. I don't believe I'm considered essential. Hey, Dave.
Yeah, hey
Um,
Dave, nice to have you here. It's like um I think the since it's associated with the hospital there, um anyone would be considered essential under the general auspice, but
mm-hmm.
Hopkins itself like further restricts that each lab or whatever has to have
Hey, Eli.
like a smaller amount of
Yeah.
people.
So that's what it's like at the National Institutes of Health as well.
Yeah. Well, no need to talk about that. But I guess in the context of the pandemic, yeah, Games Workshop has finally kind of shut or virtually everything down. Like,
Yeah.
and they they kind of started to do some of that stuff. Like the Black Library, I think they have like their own app maybe to read their books and audiobooks and stuff like that. But
Okay.
I think they put on I Am Slaughter, that Dan Abnett novel, the first of
Yeah, I
the
read
Beast
that.
Arises thing. I think they put it up for like I don't know 99 cents or something
Yeah, that's
through their
nice.
stuff as a way like, hey, this is a
Stay home and
relatively
read.
inexpensive book. Yeah, and I think every week or every other week or something they're going to add a new book. So I mean that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a
And
good idea.
kind of along that vein, they've made their Twitch channel free as
Oh, yeah,
well.
that's nice.
Because before you could watch them for free if it was live, but then you couldn't go back and
Well, yeah,
watch
since you couldn't go
older
back,
videos.
like I feel a lot of their content maybe it wouldn't be that important to watch, but like every so often they have like interviews and other stuff that
Hmm.
are like I sometimes was interested in watching, but like most of the time they happened at a time when like you couldn't really watch it, at least not from where I was.
Yeah,
So
so it was hard just because,
so you
the
couldn't
time zone differences.
you couldn't
But
really
yeah, so I
watch it.
feel that stuff. Like it's nice that they're trying to sort of keep some channels open and provide people with stuff to do. And in general, like this hobby is one that is good for kind of downtime, or most people in the hobby have more models than they care to admit.
Yeah,
so so it's
that's
nice that
that's
they're trying
true.
to do some of that stuff. And towards that end, I guess they're doing like kind of a live stream this Saturday to reveal a bunch of models, and I think they're going to actually kind of maybe show them on like the Twitch channel. So not just put it up on Warhammer Community.
That's kind
I
of
mean,
neat.
I'm sure they'll do that too, but
Yeah, yeah. What do you know
and so
what
I guess
time it is in the United States?
I
I
think it's 10 a.m. I think I posted one of the community page that said it, but I think it's 10. But there are so many Warhammer community articles.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's,
Nine
yeah. So they're
forty-five it starts, and
yeah, and they're gonna have a live blog thing. So like, I don't know, that'll potentially be exciting, and I don't know if people would be interested, but we could potentially do sort of a live stream of that, kind of watching it. I don't know quite how it would work because I think how the Twitch stream now is set up, we don't all the like the online page Adam's looking at there, we don't actually have the sound turned on to go onto the stream. That
I
the
mean that
only
might
audio,
almost be well.
in
That
some
wouldn't
sense, it
necessarily
could
be
be.
bad. It just depends on
Yeah,
how they do the stream.
I mean, we could probably have the audio coming from that as well. I'm not sure. We'd have to play around with it, but I don't even know if people would be interested in it or not. But so it's something we can consider, and if people would be interested, I guess you could let us know. But regardless, it's nice to see that they're still going to do some previews and such because it's a interesting time with a lot of kind of anxiety and unknowns about what's coming and how things are all going to shake out.
Yep,
And
and
I
any
feel maybe
excuse for people to stay inside, the better.
that is certainly true in like a public health perspective. And I guess for some people it probably hit home a little bit harder now that Games Workshop, all their stores are closing. Forge World, Black Library, those sorts of things. They're not doing any shipments and whatnot. So I guess people who are excited about Gas Call, that box coming out soon, and I guess the Zote coming out, like that's kind of going to be on hold indefinitely. I think they put a date like in 2 weeks, sometime in April or something, but I feel that's just 2 weeks from now or something. But they don't
Yeah,
really know, just like no one really knows. But I kind of suspect it'll go longer than that and longer than people really want. But
yeah,
for, the sake of safety and public health, I think we have to be cautious and actually listen to the epidemiologists and virologists and sort of stuff, people who actually,
yeah. It turns out
make a
normal
living
people
on
aren't
this.
experts and stuff like this. Who knew? Who knew?
Yeah, yeah, who knew?
So yeah.
Yeah, but
Um,
Eli, Dave, how are you all guys doing? It seems in the chat general is suggesting you're healthy, so that's good.
that is good. I guess one thing that can be said, I think sometime tomorrow, maybe at like, I think 3 p.m.
Yeah,
Um,
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time in the United States, Echoes of Imperium, so Alex from there, and some other people are going to be doing like a little live painting stream. So that's something, if anyone's free or whatnot, you might be able to tune in and watch that. I think it'll be on
Can you bring
Instagram.
up the Can you bring up the YouTube thing? I
Uh,
thought the idea it was it's gonna be on YouTube, not Instagram.
oh, that would probably be better.
Nice to see you here, Warren Sylvania. Yeah, but I think they Alex from Echoes of Imperium, like Mordheim 2019, that sort of stuff. He has been kind of trying to experiment doing some live streaming with other people. Um, like Kiri, I think in him, Kiri from the Iron Slate fame, they kind of did a live stream via Instagram. I don't know, a day or two ago. The hope was they wanted to put it on their YouTube channel, but I think the way YouTube and such works, they don't allow you to start streaming immediately after creating the account. So they couldn't do that. But the hope is tomorrow, yet 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, yeah, there's going to be a stream. I think with Kiri, Alex, and hopefully myself and you, Adam. I'm not sure if some other people, possibly Lassie from Iron Sleet as well, but
Hmm.
and maybe Alexander Lunde, the other Alex from Echoes of Imperium.
Yeah.
But regardless, we'll see. So if people are around, they're trying to avoid working from home, we might be doing that.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll maybe encourage me to actually do more painting. Haha.
Yeah, no, I hopefully can start my third sister battle here.
Yeah.
I don't actually remember last week what I showed for
I don't
like progress and stuff.
I don't remember. We can start talking about that right now. Here's a picture, Erica, your two sisters battle that you finished.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, you said you're starting your third one now. That's good.
Yeah, no, so I was happy that finished the second one, and I think it went pretty well. I mean, I think I could have maybe spent a little more time on this and that, but part of
That's
it
always
just
true.
yeah, finishing the models and moving on to the next while I have some impetus and excitement. And admittedly, I've already kind of slowed down, but
Hmm.
I did
Okay.
prime the next one and painted the majority of the red, or like the initial portion of the red armor, and it's going pretty well.
That's
One
significant.
thing that I've certainly noticed about doing the contrast paint sort of stuff, when they're always like put on one thick coat and such. And
Hmm.
if you really do that, it fills up detail and
Oh,
such.
really?
Like if you have like little gaps between stuff, like even on the
uh,
Sisters of Battle's backpacks on the sides, there are these little nubs that
yeah.
there's a really thin spacing between kind of the upper,
Hmm.
I don't know, bulbous protrusions in the lower portion, and they just get filled. The little space gets filled in with the contrast paint.
And then, like, it actually dries and occludes that?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
How
So
about that? That's not very nice.
yes, so that's the models are like that.
Ward Sylvania says, no, contrast requires thin coats. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
funny. That's funny. Love it.
and then just like all that stuff, even if you put on a semi-thin coat, if you realize, oh, maybe there's a little too much there, if you try to blot it away when it semi-dried, it like adds. It's
Hmm.
not good. On the one I'm doing now, like part of the shoulder pad, I tried to move some of it because there was a little more than I wanted on the shoulder pad, and I guess it had partially dried along the
Hmm.
edges, but not in the center. So now there's like, I don't know, a lip
Yeah,
of dried paint because it didn't go on that thin. Because
that's nice.
which I think it'll be fine, and with some weathering or something, it won't matter that
Yeah.
much. And I don't really care about the models that much, but I guess it just all goes to say that you still have to be kind of careful with them. And putting on a thick coat is still a thick coat. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not as thick as like, their base colors or their
Hmm.
layers or things like that, but it's not.
Be wary.
Yeah,
Be
yeah, be
wary.
wary.
Yeah. I guess for me, like, I think last week I talked about the base for the Eldar model I was painting. I'm not super happy with it, so I think I'm gonna redo the entire base. Um,
Actually, Ward Sylvania asked here if I'm thinning it with contrast medium, and yes, I am thinning it with contrast medium. Most of the stuff I've at least thinned 50-50 with contrast medium in the paint, or in the contrast paint,
hmm.
and putting it on. Most of the time, kind of applying it like how you would a GW wash, maybe not quite that thick, but
Hmm. Okay.
Certainly, applying most of the stuff straight is often a little too much, but it really, I think, just depends on the paint itself. They're not very consistent.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I mean, I still like them, and I think depending on the effect you're trying to achieve, like the red armor, like I think it looks good and without a huge amount of effort.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
actually with that, and Darren Latham actually talked about it in some of his videos. But if you're not trying to do the contrast paint thing with the thick coats and such, you can just thin the contrast paints a lot with water, and they work pretty nicely as just more traditional glazes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've done some of that too, like particularly if I want to darken some of the recesses or something on like the red armor or whatnot. I would like mix some of the red and black contrast paint and then dilute it down a bunch with water and just kind of glaze in areas and such, and works pretty nicely.
Yeah.
Like on the feet there, like between the different sort of sections of the sabatons or whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just kind of glazed in some of that to kind of darken it a little bit.
Yeah. That worked pretty. It looks like it worked pretty well.
Yeah, like I feel for out without too much effort, like it worked pretty well.
Yeah. I've only vaguely done more work on the Eldar model. I've started like getting some base colors down on his armor, and I think as you can sort of see here, I've decided I'm going to kind of go closer to some of the like classic Dark Eldar schemes, at least partially, with the kind of odd jade green colors and stuff. So it's only the very basic stages, but I think tomorrow I'll continue working on that, and um, I think I'm going to try and get a lot of kind of like texture and stuff into at least the parts of the armor that kind of look a little more bone like. So
Hmm.
um, I'll probably do a lot of stippling and stuff like that on them to add kind of more visual interest to it.
Do you think you'll do it sort of like that Elder one you painted a while back in that Death Guard? Is that sort of your thought, or?
Maybe I don't know. I'll have to kind of experiment with it and just
Hmm.
see where it takes me. Like most of the time, I have a vague sense of what I want to do, but then I just get out some paints that I think I'm going to work with, and then kind of just see where it goes. And
Yeah.
then most of the
Do you
time,
using a wet palette, or
I have a
will
wet
you use
palette.
one?
Yeah. And I think it's helpful. It keeps the paint around a little longer to use.
Yeah, I certainly think the thing I've been using is helpful. Although, admittedly, I think the one I have, water kind of leaches up through the paper relatively quickly, such that you can't come back to it like even in like 2 hours. Like too much water will have gotten into it. That I mean, maybe you
Mm-hmm.
could use it for like a glaze or something, but it really gets diluted quickly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not too concerned about wasting paint or whatever. But it's nice if you just put like a drop on it, and then you can essentially use the paint the whole time you're interested in it, kind of.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if I have like a shitty little plastic palette that you'll put in like a couple minutes into using it, it's starting to dry around the edges, and even adding water, like it doesn't, quite behave the same and whatnot. So, but it's sort of interesting with like the contrast paints. They're not great in the wet palette, similar to
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
metallic paints, because the metal flakes will like get through it and sink into the pad. So you
Yeah.
still kind of have to go back and forth between stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I'm slowly progressing with the model and kind of getting back into the swing of actually painting again. It seems
Mm-hmm.
like it's been, I guess, the last models I was painting were those Sisters of Sigmar models, so that was quite a while ago.
Yeah, last summer or over the summer,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, so we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, no, I feel oftentimes as you when you kind of get into it more, it gets a
I feel
little
I'll also
easier.
get more excited to kind of see more things like progress. Because it's kind of fun seeing like the different models and stuff kind of like come to life, and at the same token, like
Hmm.
it's harder to see where like you sculpted and where different pieces and stuff came from once you finally start painting. So I think that'll be
Hmm.
fun.
Actually, towards that end, do people here, do any of you use like have any sort of paint racks that you use?
I have nothing of the sort.
Yeah, I'm just saying to help like organize paints or something. Like don't have one myself. I mean, I have so many paints that like I feel it would be,
I
and
have
I don't
like
really have a.
plastic box, like plastic large Tupperware boxes that are filled with paint, and then as I'm using them, I take them out.
I have a little like kind of shitty IKEA drawer set of drawers that I put
Hmm.
some in, and for more like a storage purpose. And then I just on my desk here have a whole bunch
This
of
is an Imperial
paints that
paint
aren't
rack,
really.
Derek.
Yeah, but so I kind of at because I realized, you know what, like I should have something, and I didn't do much searching, but found one of this Warped Mind Games makes this little MDF thing that you
Hmm.
can, um, and I thought it wasn't isn't particularly expensive, and I was like, I'll
See
see
what
if I
it's
can
like.
try one and see what it's like because I thought it could be sort of nice, like if I have like a series of grays or something and can actually kind of order them in like how dark or light the shades are or whatnot, and it might be easier to kind of keep track with what I'm doing per project. Although, admittedly, since GW's paints are of a different size than all the dropper bottle ones, it's kind of a pain in the ass. But
Well, just stop using GW paints. That's the solution.
yeah, I mean, it's true. But I just love those contrasts. Oh,
Yeah.
well, Wardsylvania, it's good to hear that you've been kind of experimenting with the GW washes and contrast medium, that it's been working well for you. Which, admittedly, I know back when the contrast paints were first released, a bunch of people would try to compare the contrast medium and like Lamia medium
Hmm.
and found they were kind of interchangeable. So
Yeah.
like oftentimes if I would use the GW washes, I'd almost like always dilute it with something like Lamia medium or like
Yeah.
a Vallejo's matte media or whatever, just to thin it and not, be as dark and such. So I could see that it would, work pretty nicely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dave, your desk is just covered in paints. Yeah, that's certainly what mine is.
Yeah. Um, it just, as I paint, I slowly start bringing out more and more and more of them, and yeah.
Yeah, I just put some of mine away because I had like 100 paints on my desk and haven't been using anything close to that.
No, so Eli says there's no room for paint on his desk with all the plastic. Yeah, so For me, so I have since I just have one work area, most of the time like I'm either painting or like sculpting or it's like one or the other. Because like once I decide I want to start painting, I essentially have to clear everything out, or else I won't have.
Mm-hmm.
I won't actually have.
Yeah, space. I don't. I do it all here. But then again, I don't really do a huge amount in terms of like conversions or anything.
Yeah.
But it certainly would be nice if you had kind of distinct areas such that you didn't have to tear everything down. But I do not have that luxury, at least at the moment.
Yeah. Actually, just a minute. I'll be back.
Yeah, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, so are people excited about the old world? Games Workshop released some new information about it. I, it seems as though they're going to be trying to further develop Kislev or one of the other kind of other, factions of the Empire.
Yeah. That's kind of neat, I guess.
Yeah, I feel it's neat to see that they're gonna, try to breathe more light into some of the other like different factions that they maybe didn't do a huge amount of like kind of development and
I don't know. Yeah, it's sort of
whatnot.
interesting that they're going back to that.
Well, I know some people were already kind of upset, and I think this is just well, yeah, some people were upset that when they're like, oh, going back to the old world, that's good, less high fantasy bullshit like Age of Sigmar. But then to
Mm-hmm.
hear that they're going back to Kislev and giving them all these ice weapons and ice shit, they're like, it's just Age of Sigmar again, which, maybe.
Yeah.
But I certainly know what you mean, Eli, that I don't know if I much see the reason for it. I mean, I guess it's just to make money, but not knowing what they're going to do with it or what really their ideas are,
Yeah.
it's hard to be that excited. But if,
Sure
making
is.
exploring some of the other factions of the Empire, whatnot, could be cool if only just to like have different Mordheim stuff, like models stuff to help with the different
Mm-hmm.
um, Empire factions that could kind of end up to Mordheim. But I think some of the sketches they showed don't look too bad. I mean, they're Mark Bedford sketches, so like he could have done a lot worse than he did here.
Yeah.
Oh, hey Johnny, nice to have you here too. Hopefully you're doing okay despite the escalating pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're kind of right. Like well, not just knowing so little about what the old world is even going to be, it's sort of hard to know what to think about it. And as a result, it's hard to know what people are, what they're actually trying to target. What's the target audience?
Mm-hmm.
Because most people who have shifted into Age of Sigmar do actually like it and like the additional freedom and that sort of thing. Whereas, so yeah, I don't know, but I mean, I guess new models are new models, so that's something.
Yeah.
But it does kind of seem like they're admitting that they kind of made somewhat of a misstep by getting rid of it. But
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. But yeah, well, I guess we'll just have to see where it goes and like how much they actually support it.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone I saw thought that maybe they would actually do it as like a different sort of game, like more like Epic or something like that,
Mm,
and not the same scale. Or I guess, I mean, they made War Master, which was Epic Warhammer.
yeah,
And I don't know about that. I feel people would be upset if they did that. I mean, admittedly, I would be upset, I think,
yeah,
because like a different scale, and then it's like, wow, fuck, no use there, and I don't need to start another game that I'm not going to play.
hmm, yeah. I hear that.
Like Adeptus Titanicus or Aeronautica Imperialis.
Yeah,
Admittedly, I've played that a little bit, which is more than Adeptus Titanicus. But I still love Little Titans, so I can't be mad.
yeah. I hear that.
And maybe, I mean, I almost finished painting a Warhound Titan.
Yeah, we should play. I would like to play Adeptus Titanicus.
But now, since I didn't finish the Warhound, and I did most of the main coating, but didn't finish the weathering, now it just sits on my desk unfinished, collecting dust, such that every couple weeks I like get a brush and carefully try to brush off all the dust.
You should get from IKEA one of the glass domes.
Yeah.
Like I bought one and it's on my desk now, and I just put like models and stuff that I'm working on. I put underneath the glass dome, um, so they
Hmm.
don't so they don't collect dust because it's
Yeah.
a constant struggle to get rid of the dust. Otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah. So you should do that, or I mean, as a matter of fact, on my work desk right now, I just have a clear, like, plastic cup that I set over the model that I'm painting.
Hmm.
So it doesn't get covered in dust. Um,
Seems nice.
yeah. So I would recommend doing something like that. Eric, the wet palette you're using, it's one of those like everlasting ones that
It is.
where did you buy that?
I think directly from them.
Okay. Because like I'm the wet palette I have is this like
The Masterson
the
one?
Masterson one, and I fucking hate them. Like I really don't like them. Like the first one I got, it got moldy. The second one that I got, I've been trying to be more careful with it. Like when I'm not using it, make sure it's all dried. Always have it closed. Use like water that has gone through like filters and stuff. And I just noticed tonight that stuff is still growing in it. So it's like I just want to throw it out. I guess I could probably just make one.
Yeah, you can replace the pads too.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of just the nature of it. I think it's just gonna happen. Like the everlasting one, they try to say it's like treated in a way which reduces it, but I think even mine has a little bit maybe like. I mean, I know you could put like copper or something. Like some people line it with like a
Yeah.
small amount of copper or whatever to try to help with that.
Yeah, Johnny
But
says he
I have a
puts some
Masterson.
pennies.
Um, I mean, don't the pennies have to be
Old enough.
yet? Which I don't remember the year, but
So like I think this new one that the pad that I have now, I don't think it's mold. I think it's actually bacteria. So like maybe I could go and like boil the fuck out of it.
autoclave, motherfucker.
I don't have access to an autoclave in my apartment.
Yeah, it's true. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Masterson one I have is fine. Yeah, I'm using distilled water. Actually, let me. It's like this is the bottle of uh,
That's
Invitrogen, uh,
hold it up
ultra
higher.
pure distilled water. I don't know if you can see it. It's delayed such that I don't know.
Yeah, that's nice water. I wish I had something like that. That would be better. Cause like I just use filtered water, which isn't great.
Yeah, mine's DNA's and RNA's free.
um, you'd have to look at what the pad is made out of. Like you might be able to autoclave it.
Yeah, although it could melt it. I don't know what they're made of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think certainly distilled water helps. Um, but it I don't know, it'll still sometimes happen.
Yeah.
But the everlasting one, it comes with another pad too and a bunch of paper. It seems pretty nice. I know maybe it was in Scott, like Maniac Scott of
Mm-hmm.
that sort of fame. He must really dislike the everlasting wet palette.
Just for like how wet it keeps stuff, or
I think that's the main thing he dislikes. Um, and I think he dislikes that it it closes with a better seal such that none of the
yeah,
water ever evaporates.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, they're like all basically the same shit. I guess he also doesn't like the paper in them and thinks that more water seeps up through it, and that if he'd use it, he just uses like baking, like the baking paper or whatever. But
Like parchment paper.
yeah, parchment paper. That's what I meant.
Hey, Box,
But
nice to have you here.
yeah, nice to have you. But honestly, I kind of feel it's like whatever you get used to, maybe you like. But
Yeah.
I used the Masterson one for a while and then shifted to this one just because I thought it looked nice, which I feel is what most people do if they buy it. But it does seem nice. Like it's nicely made, and I mean I
Also,
do
one
admit some of
thing,
the
the
things
the
like
Masterson one, like the sheets of like paper, they tell you you're supposed to like I think put them, or maybe it's the mat. Sort of thought it was the paper. They
nah, it's the
recommend
paper.
that did you like put it in water and like boil it,
Yeah,
and so like yeah, I don't know.
yeah, they're terrible. Eli
Eli,
says they're trash.
yeah, they're bad. Like I don't know. I think I'm gonna throw this Masterson one away. Like fuck it. Oh, I use baking paper. You like parchment paper?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not a good painter.
Yeah, Eli
And
says the ones for the Masterson one are for like artist acrylics. Yeah.
hmm.
Baking paper is nice. Okay, so maybe I'll just try and use that. I mean, I have lots of parchment paper.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
so that would be something that it
But
would be
like right
interesting if.
now, like I need to do something to replace the foam pad or whatever in mine.
I think you can order replacements.
Yeah. Yeah, stupid shit. There's always something to discourage me from painting.
You don't have to look far to find a reason not to do it.
There's bacteria growing on it. Despite me trying to be careful and use like better water and but
Yeah, well,
yeah.
whatever. We can stop talking about the wet palette.
I mean, I feel a lot of the models that I've painted in the past, I never used a wet palette, and it's just I would just continuously add more water to the paint, and
hmm.
so that may be what I might just start doing that in the meantime. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Ugh. It's going. Yeah, the whole thing. It's going in the bin later tonight, probably.
uh, what other funny thing about the Masterson wet palette? They or not the Masterson, the Everlasting one.
Mm-hmm.
They give you like this little band to hold it together, and I don't know even why they give it to you. I guess just to look nice or something, but you would never use it. Like it almost makes you feel like, oh yeah, like this holds it together. I can put it in my bag. Like
Oh yeah,
you
there's a
would
picture of it.
never want to put it in your bag with paint on it. Like it would all just run off it because it keeps so much moisture in there. Then all the paint would get into the sponge, and then it would open up because the the
Also,
little band doesn't hold it tightly enough.
actually, what's so cool? These are made, Eric. They're made for pro painters. Pick up where you left off. You can stop painting for a few minutes, hours, or days. Yeah,
Nope.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true, but Johnny says, I've traveled with the little one before. Great if you want to get your bag wet. Love it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Can you still hear me, everybody?
Oh, I can hear you, but I don't know.
I think my computer's having issues.
That's cool. Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I tried to reformat the fucking thing to maybe help with this.
And it hasn't really solved any of the issues. Like, you've looks like you've frozen, Eric. Mm-hmm. Well, I yeah. So it seems like, Eric, you it goes in and out with you being frozen. Like right now, you're frozen. Um. Hmm. That's nice. Yeah. He's gone. He's gone. So Johnny, you like the little magnetized like? Well, let me actually. So these Everest and or everlasting wet palettes, yeah, they have this like little separate. What do they even call it? They call it a wavy accessory that magnetically attaches to the thing. Hmm. It's interesting. So maybe Eric's computer actually froze this time because that's what it used to do in the past. So the magnets fall out. That doesn't surprise me. Eric left the call, so I think this time Eric's computer actually locked up or froze. So now he's gone. Um, he should return eventually. Yeah, no, I feel like well, actually, so this everlasting wet palette, if you close the lid and don't have the little band on, does it stay closed or is the band required for it to stay shut and like not fall apart? To me, it reminds me of like a mole skin or something. They were trying to go for that sleek, classic look. Yeah, I sort of thought that it stayed shut even without it. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's something. So I don't know. Maybe I'll look into buying one because they look kind of nice. Or maybe I'll just make my own. Or just stop using the wet palette altogether. Yeah. So it almost stays closed too well. Well, so I guess between the two, if you had one that you'd rather get, would you want the larger or the smaller one? Like, I mean, I feel if I'm painting, I'll probably not be traveling a whole lot with it. So it might be nicer to have the larger surface to work with. But I guess on top of that, guess it depends on the big one is fucking huge. I guess it depends on how long like I would use each individual like sheet on it. Eric's back. Did your computer actually lock up?
Yeah, blue screened.
Okay. So that's what it used to be doing. That's cool.
It seems to be a little bit better than it had been before, but it's still fucking doing it. Or
Yeah.
like in some way or another, so I don't know.
Yeah. That's not great.
No. So still talking about the wet palette?
Yeah, no, we were always I was asking more questions about it. Um because I've seen your little one, but
I like it. It's small and I like a pretty good size. Like I don't the larger one I feel, at least for how I paint and this and that, like it's a little more than I would ever use.
I've found with like when I'm painting, like having the larger surface is kind of nice because then um, but I think it's just whatever you get used to.
Yeah, I mean it certainly could be nice and if you were doing a lot of painting like in one particular sitting or something, I think it could be nice.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well,
So
yeah.
you ready to drop $50 to buy one, Adam, and have it not ship because of the pandemic?
That's what will happen. Yeah. It it does say here's a little pop up. Our online shop and fulfillment center are operating normally. Available to
Hmm.
ship 1 to 4 days worldwide.
Yeah,
They won't be slowed down by the pandemic.
but they probably
Yeah,
should
but they
be.
probably should be. Yeah.
uh,
All right. So we talked enough about that. What is there? What else do we want to talk about?
we could at least talk briefly that Nick Evans released for free his Planet 28 RP or not RPG, like miniature kind of skirmish based game that he had done a Kickstarter
What is the? Let's see if
recently.
I can find it. Just it's
I'd
not.
yeah, I,
God.
you could probably find the Kickstarter perhaps.
Let's just find the Kickstarter. Yeah. 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 So
But
you
yeah,
can
I think
download.
he had done a Kickstarter for it for like kind of a simple system for I guess primarily just to get it printed. Um, but I think a bunch of that sort of stuff has been slowed due to the pandemic, and he essentially just released it for free to like download the PDF, and it's up on Mini Vault or which is basically like drive through RPGs, but the
Mm-hmm.
another aspect of it that you can download it for free or kind of uh, pay what you want for it. So yeah, I feel if people are interested, like you might as well download it and look it over. Like I kind of read through it today. It looks like it could be pretty fun. Like it's relatively uh, it seems relatively simple. Interestingly, it's primarily D10 based, but the
Okay.
art in it's really cool. I mean, there's not a huge amount of it because it's only like 16 pages, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's cool. So I would say people might as well look for it, and I feel since it's like a PDF, like I think you could probably pretty easily give kind of feedback or input on it, and could kind of incorporate that sort of stuff, which I think would be helpful because any sort of small project like this, I think the more feedback and stuff, the better.
Yeah. I agree. I
It'd be
agree.
fun to try to play it, but I guess with the pandemic and stuff, like it's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
No.
Just
No.
paint these sisters of battle such that when it's over, we can.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I guess other than that, we just on the blog posted something showcasing a bunch of the people that have thus far taken part in our like Bonereaper Challenge. And
Yeah.
it's just a post kind of showing a lot of sort of the work in progress entries. I mean, I guess some of them have been kind of painted as well, but the majority of them are just sort of the work in progress components. So like the challenge itself still isn't complete. Like there's if people are still interested, they can still participate or make stuff. But we just wanted to show off some of the stuff that has been done. I think we got all of them that have all of the people who have done stuff thus far. And I guess if anyone's listening and we missed something, let us know. But yeah, Kraut Scientist from the Eternal Hunt blog made a pretty cool model.
Yeah, no, he looks really cool.
Which admit, like all of them are cool. Like it was neat to see everyone's kind of take on making something with the Bone Reaper stuff, whether it's Eldor or otherwise. And yeah, and Dave actually in the chat here, thanks for making something as well. And anyone here that has something where it's like, there's certainly no rush. If you are interested in making something, have at it. If not, that's fine too. Admittedly, it was kind of the challenges are somewhat of a pain. Like I mean, we didn't. It's not like Iron Sleet's thing where they got like probably hundreds of entries. This was a lot less than that, but it was still kind of a long process of putting together the post. And like we didn't even write a huge amount about any of them, but it's still a long process of kind of tabulating everything, making sure you're not missing something and all that. But it was fun. It was nice to spend some time looking more at the stuff people have created and just all the creativity that was on display doing something, different with the Bone Reaper models. So,
Well, yeah, I think they have a lot to offer.
mhm. Yeah, no, certainly. Certainly. Which actually, sort of towards the end of like converting stuff with the Bone Reapers, um, the 28 magazine recently announced kind of the next challenge, somewhat in the vein of the Ian Miller one, but this is based on kind of making your own sort of chaos god from the old Realm of Chaos stuff. And Johan Erkekans, or I sorry, Johan, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, but from the Convertorum, he's kind of going to be judging it. And in most of the photos and stuff that are shown kind of in the challenges are some of his illustrations based on Chaos God that he kind of created, which is cool.
lots of cool little like nails and stuff in the demons. Morgoth. They're
Yeah,
fun.
which towards that end, he actually, or at least has been showing some work in progress stuff um, for a model he created to go with it, and he actually used the Bone Reaper, some Bone Reaper parts in it, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these, some of these illustrations, like they fit very well with a lot of the, some of the Bone Reaper stuff, and just like the newer Night Gaunt models. Like in many regards, some of them are actually sort of similar to some of the ones you made for your Mordheim warband, Eric, with all like the little nails and stuff in their
Yeah, no,
back.
it's actually is true.
Just give them some of the little like sickles and like golden.
Yeah, it is very true. I could have probably easily made one of them. I
Hmm.
don't know if we're gonna actually try to do something for it. It might be fun.
Yeah. I guess when is the stuff done by? Is it due? Is it supposed to be finished by? It says in here, is doesn't it?
I don't even remember.
Pictures. The 31st of May. It seems.
Okay. Like the finished ones?
Remember to send us an email with pictures of your finished miniatures by the 31st of May. Yeah. So that gives you plenty of time if you're interested in trying to make something.
Yeah.
I feel it would actually be kind of a good and interesting challenge for me because, like, almost everything that I've made now is very much like the human variety.
Hmm.
But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, which I mean that's exciting, and I'm not sure if this stuff will be in the third volume. I mean, I guess it probably will be of 28.
Dave, like most GW models are right-handed. Oh, actually, Johnny, you asked, do they have to be Eldar boys for like the Bonereaper challenge? Not really. Like you can do whatever you want. The main thought when we were going into it was to try and use them to make Eldar stuff, but like whatever.
It's honestly just where kind of your inspirations flows, make something neat. That would be the main thing.
Wait, actually, Dave says, say any thoughts on the new 28 mag issue 2? I was thinking about it. May deadline. You need to get on the chaos train at. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I should do more chaos stuff. I need
Overall,
to.
yeah, I think the second issue of 28 was pretty good. Like it was nice to see it was like I think almost 30 to 50 pages more than even the first. So it's nice to see that it it's continuing to expand and kind of go in different directions and not sort of resting on its laurels. And admittedly, it looks like the third volume will be pretty exciting too. So already had a lot of kind of entries and stuff for it, and have sort of been in the process of doing some editing and stuff for that as well. So it's on its way, and so it should be exciting.
Actually, Johnny, yeah, so we had considered maybe posting some pictures this summer, like your models you were converting with the new Bone Reaper stuff, but um, decided against it. But yeah, it doesn't matter a whole lot. We'll have other posts in the future talking more about the challenge, so we can
Yeah, I
include some of
should.
that
I
stuff.
admittedly I kind of forgot because yeah, like so much of your stuff would have fit. I should have included it. admittedly, I just went to the hashtag and went through and looked through the pictures. Well, not entirely, but that's primarily what I did because it's
Yeah.
hard to remember everything.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I should do an. I should look into doing the Abaddon conversion, but
One thing at a time, right?
yeah, I need to finish painting this Eldar model.
Yeah.
I need to do it, and then yeah, I don't know. Making one a demon or something would be kind of interesting. Well, Johnny, like, yeah, our in our blog post and stuff talking about it, like, I think it pretty clearly states that it's supposed to be an Eldar model, and but like ultimately it doesn't. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
lots of people putting on Eldar stuff, and it's like, well, it's
Yeah, I
still
mean, I
fun.
feel
It was nice to see that people were just excited to convert Bonereaper stuff in general. So it's just like might as well include them.
yeah. You like, ooh, look at me, I'm Adam, and I have self control.
Not that much self control.
No, I mean,
Well, but now since Games Workshop can't sell anything or like new stuff like that, we have a reprieve.
hmm yeah, because like I probably would have purchased the Zote.
Yeah, I'm sure I would have. I feel I would have purchased
He
it
could
just
go. He
because.
could go along with the little dark Eldar model that I'm working on now.
Yeah, no, perfect, great buddies.
Best of
All them
buddies.
Xenos have to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, this is unrelated to basically anything we're talking about, but I'm wearing a Half Life 2 shirt, kind of in honor of that new Half Life Alex game being released that no one's playing because no one has, or maybe not no one, but I certainly don't have any VR related stuff
Well,
to
presumably you can
play it.
play it without that. Like how
No,
much
you no,
you need? Oh
you
damn.
need VR stuff.
So they finally, after what, like 15 years or something, they released a new Half-Life game, and no one can play it.
Yeah,
I
it's
love it.
something. I
Love
think
it.
it was relatively good, although admittedly maybe it's just all hype, but
That's great.
it's,
Well, no one can play that. They can just play Doom Eternal.
yeah, and so
That's
that's
fun too.
fine. That's fine. Doom Eternal is fun and it's kind of fits with the 40K sort of stuff.
hmm
All that rage and whatnot. Yeah, Vox, yeah, supposedly it is, yeah, like
Rip and tear
the
until it's
best
done.
VR thing. Which, yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a huge bar to climb, but I think it's, from what I hear, they've done a relatively good job of making it seem like more of a game
Hmm.
than a lot of VR stuff. But admittedly, I haven't done much VR or really any VR stuff, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, rip and tear, that's the spirit.
hmm
I'm not very good at Doom,
I'm horrible. Like
but
I haven't played a first person shooter in years.
yeah, I don't really play games.
No, I don't either. Not anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, it's still fun and the Doom Marine's cool. Which that makes me think of Johnny,
Like the old
what's he
Syndicate
called?
models.
Yeah, the Yogg stuff. We haven't really talked much about Adepticon in this stream. I think last stream Johnny, we mentioned our disappointment, but
I mean,
about Adepticon not happening. But I mean, obviously, it was the right thing to do. But it does sort of suck because, yeah, fuck, we would be like traveling there like now.
yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
we
would have
would
been
have been
fun.
traveling there now. That would have been cool. But instead, we're not.
It'll happen in the future, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Now it just gives me more time to work on other stuff.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. I can paint all these cool Sister of Battle models with oversized bolters. Hell yeah.
So oversized.
Paint them up, put them away, never touch them.
That's probably
Pretty
what'll
exciting.
happen.
Pretty exciting.
That's where miniatures belong in their case, trapped
Yeah,
away so no
otherwise
one
they'll
can
just
see them.
attract dust.
Yeah, that's where they
Admittedly, let
live.
me see. I might not be able to get a good photo of this, but
Well, the painted Sisters of Battle you have, are they in a case or are they out?
yeah, I'll send you a picture here.
They should be in a case, otherwise they're going to be collecting dust and you won't be able to get rid of it.
I have like this little chest thing hanging on my wall next to my desk that it's where I put
Yeah, look at that. We can
the
see your hands,
models.
Eric.
Yeah,
Taking a
well,
picture.
it's not.
There are a lot of
It's a
Lego
bad picture.
minifigures there, Eric.
It was primarily just a thing to put minifigs, but
Mm-hmm.
there's some models in there that I'm kind of
That's
working
kind
on.
of fun.
Yeah, like the two Anna's the Kickstarter models are in there. The old like 1986 Jess Goodwin Sorcerer guys in there.
Oh yeah, there he is in the center.
Mad Meg's up at the top,
Mm-hmm.
unpainted, but ready to be painted.
Yeah.
There's that one in Grimson Dark Angels model that
Oh yeah, I see him.
isn't
Next,
painted.
next to Marge, little Marge minifigure.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Is Darth Revan in there?
Probably somewhere. I don't know. I don't know
I
if I
think
see
he's
him.
in there.
Oh, he is. He's next to the shark Lego minifigure.
Oh yeah, there he is. It's true.
That's kind of fun. I
Yeah,
imagine
but so
Dust still gets in
that's
there.
where I put the models that are kind of finished painting or
Mm-hmm.
not in a case yet, and some of them I just keep there such that if I take pictures, I can take pictures like easily get them out.
Yeah, that's fun.
But I should probably put them in a real case such
Mm-hmm.
that I
Hide
never
them
see
away.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
Well, so I don't know. Maybe we can end the stream pretty soon. Like, I don't know. I think we've largely talked about most of the stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I haven't done a whole lot. There aren't too many big, like, announcements and stuff coming out at the moment. I guess, yeah, the main thing will be, I guess, this Saturday when Games Workshop reveals stuff on their stream. Sort of
Reveal
in
stuff that they don't know when they will be able to
Yeah,
release.
sort of in, we'll say, remembrance of or a Adepticon. So I don't know. Maybe we'll even have a stream or something talking about some of that stuff. Maybe even while it's happening, or at the very least next week at around this time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what do we think they're gonna show? I'm ho-
Space Marines.
I'm hoping Lord of
In
the
this
Rings
hour of
stuff.
darkness, only Space Marines can lead us to the light and excitement and happiness.
I'm hoping it's Lord of the Rings stuff.
Fuck yeah. a new, poorly or not as nicely sculpted version of the Fellowship would be really appreciated.
Nah, Fabius Boyle, they'll probably show him. That's true.
Yeah, that's true. They'll show him.
So long as
Hopefully,
he
new
has
Imperial
like,
Guard.
oh yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, hopefully, new Imperial Guard.
Oh yeah, so tomorrow at around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a bunch of people will be from like Echoes of the Imperium are going to be. Let me bring it up. They have a YouTube channel called Echoes of Imperium. A couple of them are gonna be like live streaming of them like painting miniatures and such. So if you're free, you could try and come and watch people paint and chat about random things.
I just put the link to it in the chat, or at least the YouTube chat
Yeah.
for it.
Um, I
I don't
think.
know how it's gonna work, but
Yeah, we'll see. I think hopefully myself and Eric will try and join in as well.
that's the hope here.
Yeah.
I have a tripod here, semi set up to
Like,
put up a camera and
yeah.
show me painting.
It'll be sort of weird, like, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I have a little arm set up, but I don't have anything to hook my phone up to, which I think that's what I'll have to use to record it. So,
Yeah, I think.
maybe I'll just tape it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so if you're free tomorrow at around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States, um, you could try to pop in, say hi, and see how the whole thing unfolds.
Hmm.
But yeah. So yeah, I guess thanks everybody for joining us today. Hopefully you had some fun talking about the random things, and we'll hopefully talk
Yeah.
to all of you again pretty soon.
Yeah, and I hope everyone kind of stays safe, healthy, and
Yeah.
in this kind of uncertain time, and ultimately is, careful and wise about your habits.
Yeah, no, I feel the whole thing is, I think hopefully given people more to like think about and take public health in general more seriously,
Hmm.
which I
It's
think is
true.
good. All right, everybody. Until next time. Have fun
Yeah,
with the
cheers to
hobby. Keep
everybody.
safe.
Yeah, and
Over and
thanks for
out.
joining us.
Rip and tear until it's done.
That's right.